Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Extra Innings. I'm the host, Joe Sullivan. There's my partner, what's up, Pavel? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Just sitting here doing a lot better than I was about 10 minutes ago. Our Phillies were losing 2-0, but Sosa just hit a home run, so they're now it's 2-1. But yeah, man. So how's your week going? Anything interesting out there that you've been seeing or anything?
Just crazy. Like, no, I know we're talking about the Orioles, not being there, but man, they are 8 games over 500, and challenge obviously the Tampa Bay Rays, who are unbelievable right now, 20-3. But I never thought Baltimore would be 15-7 to start the season, which is really good.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of surprises out there. You got Baltimore, you got How about Pittsburgh, about to be 17-7?
Yeah.
Got a comment here. Danny on Wheels said, "What's up, guys? What's up, Danny? How you doing, bro? Thanks for checking us out." Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. Here in the Philadelphia area, you got, I'm looking at league leaders up here. And, of course, you still got the kid from Miami, the guy Luis Ariz. What's that say? Ariz? Is that how you say it?
I think they pronounce it Ariz.
Okay, yeah, Ariz. He's hitting 444 still, but right behind him is our own Brandon Marsh hitting 364. So that's a surprise as far as personal players. And just a lot of surprises out here. But why don't we kick it off with some power rankings? What do you think?
Sure.
Some standings and some power rankings. So, we are now 20 plus games in. So
about 23.
Yeah, so we're about what would that be, about 1/8 or so into the season? If you break it down by 20 games, it's right around 8. Yeah. 1/8 into the season. Danny on Wheels says Braves lost 4 in a row and Strider dominated yesterday.
Yeah.
Danny on Wheels also goes Pirates could be for real. Yeah, they
just extended Reynolds today too.
Yeah. I want to get into that. Yeah, definitely, because 8 years, 108 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
we were talking about him being a trade deadline piece, but looks like they're they realize they need him, and they're doing well, so got extension.
Well, and good for Pirates fans, and also just to touch on another team, I saw Matches Malone said the Rays are losing 5-0 to the Astros currently.
Are they home or away? Because they're undefeated at home.
That I am not sure. I'd have to check, but just getting back to the Brian Reynolds thing. It's got to be extremely encouraging to a Pirates fan. Not only is your team finally winning, they're 17-7, but like you said, Rays are home, so this will be their first home loss if that holds true. So not only are they 17-7, they got a lot of nice surprises. Like you said, the rebirth of Andrew McCutchen. Going back to Pittsburgh, and now he's got 5 home runs.
Yeah, he hit one tonight. Yep.
Yeah, in fact,
batting 278 start season. He did pretty decent for us, and then he got that injury, right? So then he struggled, but man, it's like he's back out there doing it.
Yeah, and interesting little tidbit on McCutchen too. I didn't know this, but I told you many times, UPS guy's a Pittsburgh fan, and he said that McCutchen actually kept a home in Pittsburgh. He was a longtime Pirate. Well, he kept a home in Pittsburgh because apparently his children still go to school out there.
Okay.
So that that, and I'll tell you, that's one thing as a fan we don't always think of, because you look at these ball players and you think about all the money they make and all that stuff. But let's be honest, there's human emotions and human dealings that go on. And, I got to think that McCutchen, part of the reason he's doing so well is he's healthier, and also he's comfortable being back in Pittsburgh. The guy is over the last, he's got to be one of the top Pirates of the last, 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? He's he's putting up good numbers. They got another guy by the name of Jack. shoot, I'm having a hard time reading my writing. Jack Suzinski or something like that. He's got five homers, 12 RBIs. And then, of course, you got Brian Reynolds, who they just signed to that big contract. He's got 5 homers, 18 RBIs. He's hitting 294. So that, so they're some of those guys are, they're some of the Pirates that are really killing it. And how about this, Paul? That's hitting wise. Well, how about the Pirates? Our old buddy Vinny Velasquez, 3-2 with a 3.76. He's got 27 Ks and 26 innings, and he only has 12 walks too. By the way,
wow.
Because I
guess he's not lasting like 3 or 4 innings, huh?
No, he's actually giving them some innings, and it's not the Vinny Velasquez that we've known in Philadelphia. Paul, Miko Spencer with a comment. Man, I bet my season ticket prices are going to go up to pay Reynolds. No more dollar dog nights. Well, you know what though? Don't fret that there, Miko, because the Phillies payroll is like $200 million, and from what I saw, somebody posted on Twitter, it's dollar dog night again tonight, and it's another cluster F. Apparently, the lines are like around the block. Hey, listen, I love a good hot dog. Going to a ball game, it's like tradition. Like I almost always have to get a hot dog when I go to a game, even if I get something else, just because it's such a tradition. And I love dollar dogs, but I'll tell you what, I'm not waiting in line for 3-4 innings just to get a dollar hot dog. I'll pass on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Miko Spencer, here they are cheap anyway. They're $3.50. Wow, $3.50 each. Jeez. What are they in Philadelphia? What are they in Philly, bro? I think they're at least like $5, aren't they?
I'm not sure. I haven't got one in a long time, so they have other better food there that I'd rather eat than a hot dog. But yeah, haven't got a hot dog in a long time.
I can't even remember because the last few games I went to, by the time I was getting hot dogs, I mean, we went on opening day and I was already high. We were highly partying for a little bit before. So I don't know. I know I got a burger and I think I got a dog, but anyway, yeah. So I'm looking at this, we'll get into these teams, but real quick, just to touch on the Pirates a little bit here. We touched on Velasquez. Another guy that's killing it for them is a guy by the name of Mitch Keller. He's 2-0 with a 3.64 ERA. He's got 30 strikeouts in 29 innings. So, that could be part of the reason why they're playing well. They have they have a few pitchers that are pitching really well. They got some hitters that are hitting well, and they're playing some really good team baseball.
Yeah, another guy going tonight too, Johan Oviedo. He's starting this game with 2-1 with a 2.22 ERA, 25 Ks. So he's doing good too. They're getting the starting pitching that they need.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time the Pirates had good starting pitch? Well, you know what? Actually, it's funny. They did back about 10 years ago when they had Garrett Cole, and they had and then of course they had Tyler Glasnow, who they wound up trading to the Rays. That turned out to be a disastrous move. They wound up trading him for Chris Archer into the Chris Archer trade. But so things are finally looking up baseball wise in Pittsburgh. That's which I kind of think that's good news, just in general, because they're a good sports town, and it's not like it's the 70s or the 80s. They're not really a Phillies rival,
Yeah.
Danny on Wheels with a comment here. He said, Strider's averaging 14.7 Ks per 9 innings. Boy, that's unreal.
Wow.
49 strikeouts, 30 innings. Well, he was actually, when we did our preview show, he was actually my prediction for the Cy Young. And looking at what he's doing, I mean, it's just he's just really killing it right now. So what do you all right, well, anyway, we touched on the Pirates. How about if we do some power rankings here? Because they're, let's be honest, they're playing some good ball, but they are not the only team playing some good baseball. So,
right. Well, you have to roll with the Rays number 1 at this point.
Yeah. So if we look, let's kind of go by the divisions. You know what? We'll start with the Rays since they're number 1 altogether. So right now in the American League East, We got the Tampa Bay Rays are 20-3. I mean, geez,
7-3 in the last 10, 14-0 at home, although that's in jeopardy tonight. But
yeah, and then followed behind them is quite a surprise. You got the Baltimore Orioles entering tonight at 15-7.
They're 9-1 in the last 10.
Yeah, 9-1 in the last 10. They're how would you like to be 15-7 though? You're already 4.5 games out. That just goes to show how good the Rays have been, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So you got Baltimore 15-7, 4.5 out. Adley, let me see where I'm at here. Hang on, I'll find it somewhere. I know Adley Rutschman. They're led by Rutschman, and they have a lot of good players in their lineup. But Rutschman's hitting 289, 4 bombs, 15 RBIs, and he's the leader of that team. Out of Box Sports Network with a comment here. FYI, Pirates versus Phillies, June 29th block party, and David Bednar bobblehead giveaway. Well, I plan on being there. Oh, July. Okay.
Yeah, July. Yeah.
All right. So I know. I plan on being out there. All right. So let's check out the AL East here. So we got the Rays 20-3, Baltimore 15-7, 4.5 out. We got your Toronto Blue Jays at 14-9. They're currently 6 games out. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Followed by the New York Yankees.
Your Yankees, yeah, they're lost 2 in a row, 5-5 the last 10, 7 games back.
Yeah, they're 13-10, and you know they'll be there when the season's when the season starts getting the hitting season and time goes by and they get possibly Carlos Rodon back. Yankees will be there. And then you got the Red Sox right now, last place. They're 12-12. They're 8.5 back. So the Red Sox, Red Sox are playing some decent ball. Then you got the AL Central. You got the Twins. You got the basically the only 2 teams that are really relevant in the Central are the Twins and the Guardians. You got the Twins at 13-10. Guardians 11-12. I think a lot of people predicted the Guardians to win that division, especially based off of last year. So the Guardians.
I don't know, man. I'm impressed with Minnesota. I mean, I know they're only 13-10, but they got I saw highlights of the game the other day and hit like 3-4 home runs. Like they were killing it. Like I'm impressed with them so far.
Yeah. Well, they're playing well. I mean, the 13-10. Although they're 4-6 in their last 10. The Guardians are 4-6 in their last 10. And then you got the Tigers 8-13, White Sox 7-16. We saw the White Sox last week when the Phillies played them. The White Sox really are not impressive at all. The only guy,
Mitch Berger, not Mitch Berger, but I forget his first name, but Berger,
Berger's he's like Good Burger out there. You know what I mean? He's doing well. Then you got the Royals, who were just hideous. They're 1-9 in their last 10.
Wow.
5-18 altogether. They're already eight games back. So the Royals are they're terrible. Fans in Kansas City are looking forward to the NFL draft and looking forward to the world champion Kansas City Chiefs coming back.
Yep.
That still hurts me to say as an Eagles fan too, by the way.
Yep, and then Andy Reid too.
Yeah, and then you have in the AL West, you got the Rangers at 14-8. You got the Astros at 12-11, and then you got the Angels at 11-12. Do you see the last 2? My paper accidentally cut here. I could look it up.
Seattle's 10-12, 4 games back, and then Oakland is probably the worst in the league at this point. Actually, they're same record as the Kansas City Royals, 5-18. Okay,
well, before we move on to the NL, speaking of Oakland, there was some huge news this past week.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's looking extremely likely that Oakland is the A's are going to move to Vegas. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, I know Rob Hefner and Ken Fry, the Vegas sports guys that are on at 8:00 on Saturdays. I know they'll definitely want to be touching on that because that's some huge news.
They will have to build a dome stadium, right? I mean, they can't play in that hot ass weather outdoors, right? In baseball,
I would think they'll probably Though, you know what? It would probably be a dome or probably a retractable roof. Maybe there's some times of the year where maybe in the night game, maybe they can have the roof open. Like say, I don't know, maybe September or May, something like that. But yeah, you're right. Summertime, that joint's going to have to be closed because it's pretty hot in Vegas in the summertime, obviously.
Yeah.
And I know they say the quote unquote dry heat. But yeah, 100's 100. You know what I'm saying? That joint, that's still that's what you call swamp ass Saturdays and Sundays. You know what I mean, for weekend days, right?
Yeah,
you got some serious swamp ass going
on. But my only concern about that is though, you move an organization to another state and city. But what about the organization itself? Like, they got rid of all their players. Like, was this going to be a rebuild for them? And like, how much? Yeah, it's exciting to get a team in Las Vegas, but like, they're not going to be good for a while, right? I mean, the good dude got the whole thing.
Well, kind of depends. I mean, even when they moved to Vegas, Vegas still isn't a huge market.
I'm sure the stadium is going to be small, a much smaller stadium than the Coliseum.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I mean, well, they'll probably model it after. I would imagine it'd be modeled after, say, like the Mattress Malone says retractable roof. That's what I think. I would think it would be modeled after like the stadium in Houston or the Rangers Stadium. They're both retractable roofs, and it'd probably be something like that. You know what I mean? Probably fit like 45,000, something like that. Maybe 45, 50,000.
Yeah.
And the one thing is, I mean, I know this with the Raiders. I mean, you always have the draw of the visiting fan too. So people that aren't even baseball fans, just if they're in Vegas, it'll just be something to do. Hey, you know what? Let's go to an A's game.
I know. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying too. I'm thinking about when the Knights got expansion team Knights, like they were good like right away. They would go to the Cup, whatever, like what, first, second year. I don't, I see this long of the rebuild for them being out there.
Right. But the one thing is though, like I said, they won't be a big market, but there will be a draw. There will be a draw to free agents going to Vegas though, because a lot of guys will want to live out there.
Yeah.
Out of the Box Sports Network says, here a blueprint of Vegas is saying. Oh, this is a blueprint of the stadium. Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty cool looking.
Interesting, yeah.
Might have to get A's tickets, Paul. I wonder if I can put
it. Will they still call it Las Vegas A's, or will they change to something else? It will be A's.
Well, the one thing, the A's have been the A's since they were in Philadelphia, and we touched on this on our show last night. The A's moved out of Philadelphia back in the 50s, and they still have the most championships of any professional sports team in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they've been the A's. So, I mean, you figure they were the A's through Philly, they were the A's in Kansas City, and now they've been the A's in Oakland all these years. I mean, I think it'll be good for baseball all in all because, Oakland just can't. It's funny. It's funny. I'm saying this as I literally just was flipping channels and Moneyball was just on about 20 minutes ago. I just happened to catch the end of it. But it's almost impossible to build a competitive team in Oakland anymore. It's almost impossible. It's and part of the reason is like, back in 2002, the A's were ahead of the trend. You know what I mean? So they bucked the trend. They went and got guys that walked, got guys that did all this stuff, and it worked through the 162. But when it got to they never ultimately had any playoff success.
Yeah,
and a lot of that comes down to individual talent and clutch gene. Yeah, here's Matches Malone here.
Yeah,
says Golden Gates Golden Gates. I'm thinking I got casinos on my mind, bro.
Gold Gates or that place in Northeast Philly, the Russian place.
Oh yeah, that's right. Remember Bill I remember. Were you with us when Billy Smith went in there? We were all remember we were FU'd, and maybe we thought Billy Smith was going to be like 6 feet under if we didn't get him the hell out of
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, God, dude, you believe that was like 25 years ago. You believe that?
Crazy, man.
Dude, where's the time go?
I know.
No, but anyway, Matches Malone says Golden Knights went to the Cup in their inaugural season and only missed the playoffs once. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hey, they're yeah. I also gotta stay A's. I agree. I think they probably will. Oh, here we go. Mako Spencer, Joe, great idea. If they don't sell, we have a reason to go to Vegas frequently. Yeah. Hey, that's what I did with the Raiders tickets. Although let's keep it real. I mean, there's 81 baseball home games, so that would be kind of hard,
Yeah.
I don't think we could get out there that often, but but yeah, I'm that's all right. So anyway, so that's that. The A's may be moving out there. How about we touch on the National League power rankings here? So National League East, we got the Atlanta Braves 15-8. They're 6-4 in their last 10, although they lost 4 in a row.
They did, yeah. They lost 4 in a row and they won last night, I believe.
Yeah, they were red hot. You got the Mets 14-9. They're 7-3 in their last 10.
They lost 2 in a row. Miami lost 2 in a row. Yeah.
Marlins still hanging tough. They're 12-11. They're 3 out. Although Alcantara's been getting rocked.
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm surprised about that one.
Yeah, Alcantara has been getting rocked a little bit. I think his ERA was like 5 or something his last couple starts. I think the Phillies started that, John.
Yeah.
You got Philadelphia Phillies in here, 11-12, 7-3 in the last 10. More importantly, they're on a 3-game winning streak, although right now they are down 4-2 in the top of the 7th.
Yeah.
And then you got the Nationals, who just the Nationals just suck ass. They're 7-14. They are 3-7 in their last 10. The Nationals are
they're beating the Mets right now, so.
Well, that's good news for us, but
I think it's 2-0.
Well, hey, what's that saying? Every dog's going to have their day, right? Well, let's be honest. I say this all the time in baseball, but even the shittiest teams are going to find a way to win about 60 games. You know what I mean? You're going to win 60, you're going to lose 60. Basically, if you really think about it, you start a baseball season, it really comes down to 42 games.
Yeah.
You're going to win 60, you're going to lose 60. It's what you do in that other 42 that decides it. I mean, it's been like that for what, 100 and how the hell long has baseball been around? 120 years, 130 years, something like that. That's how it's always been. So we got the Central.
Speaking of Nationals, is Steven Strasburg still pitching or is he still injured?
I have to be honest with you, Paul. I do, I know we do we do a decent amount of research for the show, but I got to admit, and maybe if there is a Nationals fan out there, they can tell us. But the Nationals are a team I do very little research on, so I couldn't even tell you honestly. Like if you don't even have 10 wins, like you're not even on my radar. Like I didn't even bother looking at you. So okay, never mind. It's caught. Oh shit. Guy from the Mariners just hit a home run. Or no, it's a double. All right, I'm sorry. Sorry, I got distracted. But all right, so let's go to the Central. We already touched on the Pirates. They're about to be 17-7, 8-2 in their last 10. I like to say my Milwaukee Brewers because I've been touting them all year. They're 15-8. They're only a game behind the Pirates. They're 6-4 in their last 10. You got the Cubs 12-9. They're still hanging in there. They're 3 games out. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Yeah. And surprisingly, you got the St. Louis Cardinals off to a very sluggish start. They're 9-14, 4-6 in their last 10. They're 7.
They're only a game out of last place.
Yeah, and then you got the Reds at 8-15. 3-7 in their last 10. The Reds are only 1-9 on the road. Their only road win is that one Sunday where they came back against the Phillies.
It figures. Dude.
Yeah. So here we go. Now we go to the West. Again, same as last week. Eileen C with a comment here. Yankees Twins tied 1-1. Okay. Miko Spencer, after a setback injury to his nerves and itching arm, he is still deemed out indefinitely as of now for the season. Oh, Strasburg.
Yeah. I looked it up quickly. I see he was absent from spring training, and then there's also stuff up there that rumors that he could retire from this injury. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Well, you know what's amazing? It's hard to believe that he's been in the league as long as he has. Like, I still remember. It seems like yesterday it was the 2012 playoffs, and he pitched those innings, and remember they benched him in the playoffs. Yeah. Ken Fry, thoracic surgery. Oh, that's a tough injury, especially for a pitcher. So that's hard to come back from that. But all right, so let's go to the West. Like we said, same as last week. Diamondbacks hanging in there, 13-11. They're only 5. Well, you know why it's the same as last week? The whole division's pretty much 5-5 in the last 10. Diamondbacks are 13-11. Dodgers are 12-11, so they're only a half game out. Although they're going to lose tonight since they're playing the Pirates. What is it? What did you say it was? 7-0?
Well, it was 7-2, but now the Pirates Dodgers came back a little bit. It's actually 7-5 now in the 7th.
Okay, so that game's not over.
Yeah, it was 7-2. They just came back a little bit.
Padres hanging in there, 500. I feel like the Padres and the Phillies are kind of like on the same wavelength. You know, the only difference is the Phillies have the Braves, who are 15-8, and the Padres have the Diamondbacks, who are only a game up. You know what I mean? Like the West, the whole West has kind of gotten off to mediocre starts. So the Padres are 1 out. Do you see the Giants and the Rockies record, Paul? This thing.
Giants 9-13, 4-6 last 10, won 3 in a row. And Colorado is 7-17, 6 games back, 2-8 in the last 10, but won 1 in a row.
Yeah, well, every time you say Colorado, I think of Bill Giles back in 2007, where he was like, remember he was all FU'd? He's like, Colorado Rockies, remember? So yeah, NL champion, Colorado Rockies. That was one of the last times I remember them being relevant. I mean, they were good. They've had that incredible run in 2007, and then of course in 2009 they made the playoffs, and the Phillies went out there and beat them in Game 4. That's when Ryan Howard. I don't know if you remember. Ryan Howard said, "Boys, get me to the plate," and he came up with a big double.
Yeah.
Here's our own Sean Kilrain. He's on the Sully squad. He says, "What's up, guys? 5-2 Phillies down in the top of the set." Down the top of the 7th. Yeah, it's not looking too good for our Phils right now.
Philly, for some reason, struggle with the AL West teams. Do you agree? Struggling with Texas. We were struggling with Seattle. Struggling with Houston. Didn't Angels last year take 2 out of 3 or swept us or something? Or what was that? I remember.
No, I think the Angels we played well against, but everybody else we didn't. We struggled against. Yeah, we struggled against. Remember, we played Houston in the end of the year. But remember, I think we lost 2 or 3, but the last 2 games were meaningless because we'd already clinched the playoffs.
Yeah.
And of course,
and we lost the World Series to them. So
yeah. Well, that Houston team was unreal. What did they win? About 100? I know the Dodgers won 111. I think Houston won like 104 or something like that.
Yeah.
104 or 106, I forget. But that was a hell of a Houston team, and they had one of the best pitching staffs of the last like 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
So, but all right, well, there's kind of like the power rankings. Do you want to get into how about if we get into some of the statistical leaders here and who's doing really well? Do you want to touch anybody in particular you want to mention, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, it's early in the season. You got a couple players and already hit double digits home runs already. You got Max Muncy has 11 already with 21 homers. 11 homers, 21 RBIs. And Pete Alonso, the Mets, the polar bear, 10 home runs, 23 RBIs. So that they're off to a good start hitting the ball, man. They're on pace for like 40, 50 home runs, something like that.
Yeah, And I'll tell you, here's a guy right here, Patrick Wisdom of the Chicago Cubs with 9 home runs. In
Yeah.
fact, I was really surprised. I think I'm in a fantasy baseball league, and I have to admit I played fantasy football for all these years. I've never really gotten into fantasy baseball, and I got to admit it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult for me to do to do the fantasy baseball just because it's so much to keep track of.
No,
You know
definitely
what
it
I'm
is.
saying?
Yeah, I did it last year, and it was like so much.
But yeah, I mean, I think I just picked up this Patrick Wisdom guy in the fantasy league, which I was surprised. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's not hitting for average; he's hitting for power. I mean, like only batting 258.
Yeah, but you know what though? Hey, that's modern day baseball. I mean, if you're hitting 258, but you're hitting for power, I mean, you're still going to make a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about the this guy from the Mariners tonight, that Jared Kelenic? He's 23 years old, and he was a first round pick for the Mets in 18, 6 overall. And he has hit a home run tonight. So he has 7 home runs, 14 RBIs, 333 average for them. He's 23 years old, left fielder.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. And then yeah, so I mean, so we touched on some home run leaders. Looking at the average, we mentioned Aries and Marsh. You got Matt Chapman at Toronto hitting 361.
And
And then
Ronald
you got
Acuna hitting 357.
yeah, Acuna. Although he's not really a surprise because I mean Acuna, you figured
His power
Acuna
numbers are
would
down a
be
little
up
bit,
there.
though. His power numbers is on. He only had 3 home runs so far this year.
So yeah, and then you got
Brandon Marsh.
right, and then you got runs batted in. You got the guy from Texas, or Adolis Garcia, 28 RBIs already.
Yeah, I like him.
Of
Yeah.
course, you were down Alvarez at Houston, 27. You got Tampa Bay, Randy or Arizarena, 24. And then, of course, you got Rafael Devers, 23 of Boston. We knew he was going to do it.
Yeah.
And you got Pete Alonso, 23 of the Mets. So, there are some of the hitting leaders. And then, of course, you mentioned Acuna. He's the hits leader. He's got 34. And our own Bryson Stott is third. He's got 33 hits.
He's tied. He's tied for second, actually.
Yeah, so
he's tied with Bichette and Horner.
Gotcha. And then, I'm looking at wins leaders. As same as last week, it's Garrett Cole with 4, Kershaw with 4, Kyle Gibson again, Baltimore 4. I don't know how he's actually pitching pretty well, but that's from what I read, apparently Baltimore's pitching coach has kind of found some sort of a rhythm for him. Shane McClanahan of Tampa Bay, he's got 4, and then you got Joe Ryan in Minnesota with 4. I'll tell you who's killing it too is Sonny Gray in Minnesota. He's got a 0.62 ERA, and then you got Ohtani with a 0.64 and Garrett Cole 0.79.
I'm gonna throw a name out to you right now. Former Philly Zach Eflin, Tampa Bay, 3-0, 2.81.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I actually just picked him up in fantasy too.
Yeah.
Eileen C. I'll tell you, no surprise players from the Yankees because their offense stinks right now. Yeah, they're struggling. I mean, Judge is only hitting. I was looking. Judge is only hitting 244. He's got 6 homers, 11 RBIs, but he's only hitting 244, so he's struggling a little bit. And
of course, Giancarlo Stanton's out, right?
Yeah, that's hurting him. I think Donaldson's hurt too. He may come back, but I know he was hurt about a week ago. And then we'll get into prospects in a little bit, but that kid Volpe's only hitting 194.
Although he has hit 2 home runs so far.
Yeah, he's got 8 stolen bases, so he is getting some steals. But still, I mean, that's not that's not what they were hoping for. You know what I mean?
No, definitely not.
So, but yeah, there are some of the league leaders here. Here Oh yeah, Eileen C says both are her, Donaldson and what's his face? Who did I say? Stanton.
Another base hit for Marsh right now. Just it.
I know it's unbelievable. I mean, hey, he's got to play every day. Although, like you said, Pesci is playing well. Looking at the saves leaders here, you got Romano of Toronto with 8. Bedard, the guy that Miko Spencer said they're going to have a bobblehead for in Pittsburgh. He's got 8 saves. Josh Hader of San Diego with 8. And they're the top 3. And then, we touched on this earlier. Danny on Wheels mentioned this. Strikeout leader Spencer Strider, 49 Ks already, like he said,
Yeah.
So they're some of the leaders, but how about if we get into some prospects? But before we do, how about if we mention one of our sponsors here? Anybody out there with some legal issues, call our man Jason Fine, attorney Big Al, 1-800-HURT-123. Slip and fall, MVA, slip and fall, workers' comp, personal injury claims. He's got a Philadelphia office of 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120, Philadelphia, PA 19103. You can call him at 267-888-2980, or Cherry Hill for anybody out there in Jersey. As you can see, there's a Cherry Hill office there, 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 08002, or you can call 856-209-5258. And then in Pittsburgh, PA, you could call Jason 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895, or you could call our own Paul Spencer at 267-303-7324 for a free consultation. The Pittsburgh office is 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900, Pittsburgh, PA 15219, or call 412-365-8151. So, well, hey, it's good to know if you have some legal problems, you could call my man Jay Fine there. But hopefully you don't have to, right? That's that. It's funny. They're the calls that you don't want to have to make, right, Paul?
Exactly. Exactly.
I know what it's like. I mean, thank God I had a guy. I just got divorced, and I had a good lawyer, and but let's keep it real. It's not that's not always a pleasant call, but at least if you have a good one, they can make it pleasant as they can, I guess, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some prospects here. Do you want to do like a who's not? Oh, here we go. Miko Spencer says, at least we're covered when we hit Pittsburgh. Cool. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we're throwing it down hardcore out there in Pittsburgh. Out of the Box Network is throwing it down hardcore. So, all right, well, let's get into some of these prospects, Paul. Do you want to do do you want to start off with a who's not? Or do you want to start off who's hot, who's not? I'll let you start it off.
All right, I'm gonna start with Jordan Walker, outfielder, third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. Coming back down to earth a little bit, but he still batting average 274, 2 home runs, and he's with 20 hits, 3 doubles.
Okay.
Come back down to earth a little bit. And then the catcher for the Mets, Francisco Alvarez, struggling, only batting 148, 1 home run, 4 hits, and 27 at-bats.
Gotcha. I got a guy that's coming on a little bit. The kid from Boston, Yoshida. He's hitting 265, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, but from what I see, he's had a little improvement since last week. And then, of course, you got the kid Carroll from Arizona, the first place Arizona Diamondbacks, as we touched on before. Yeah. He's hitting 282 with 4 bombs, 8 RBIs. He's also got 8 stolen bases. So that guy is like a dual threat.
Yeah. Good prospect would come to come.
Yeah.
Who's not? Anthony Volpe, shortstop, Yankees, only batting 194. 2 home runs, 1 triple, 1 double, 14 hits and 72 at bats.
Yeah, that's garbage.
That's not going to do it for you.
And it's funny because the Orioles are playing such good ball. I keep waiting for this kid to break out, and I still think he's going to be a hell of a player. But Gunnar Henderson is still struggling. I mean, he's every week we do this list, and I'm waiting to say like, hey, he's starting to come on.
Yeah.
And every week I look down, and he's still 183, 1 homer, 3 RBIs.
Yeah,
trash so far.
They might have to send him back down AAA, get some more bats down there. Especially, I would say Volpe too, but I don't think they have another option as shortstop for the Yankees, right? Shortstop for other than Volpe.
I mean, they could always move. They could always move Gleyber Torres back to short if they wanted to.
Okay.
I mean, he's played short before. You know what I mean? But they may not want to do that. But I'm saying they could. I think they'll let the kid have his growing pains because he does have a lot of potential. So they'll probably just let him have his growing pains. At least I want to say at least for another few weeks. I mean,
maybe it's early. It's only 23 games. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if we're doing this show a month from now and he's still hitting 194, I mean, it is the New York Yankees. I mean, you could go from a top prospect to a never was really quickly. I mean, the Yankees are all about winning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Yankees. I think it's amazing. I don't think the Yankees have had a losing season since like 1992 or something like that, or 93.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, their run of even their quote unquote bad years have been over 500.
Yeah.
So I got a couple pitching prospects here.
Yeah, me too. I have Grayson Rodriguez, the pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. He's still 0-0, no wins, no losses, but his ERA is at 5.12. 2 home runs, 10 walks, 25 Ks. That ERA is really high at 5.12. So he's not getting the job done at this point.
Yeah, and then our weekly Cody Senga report. Now, Cody Senga still having a hell of a year overall. He got shelled a little bit his last time out. His ERA is now up to 4.29. He's still got 25 Ks and 21 innings pitched. He's still got an unbelievable repertoire of pitches. I mean, the guy's got great stuff. So he struggled a little bit his last time out. Any other prospects that I'm missing here that young guys that you're that have caught your eye, or how about I think you wanted to touch on a guy, speaking of Brandon Marsh, I know you mentioned to me you wanted to
the guy that we traded him for, the catcher from the Phillies, Brandon O'Hoppe. He was killing it. I think he had 4 home runs, batting near 300, and then he got a shoulder injury. It looks like it's going to be season ending, but he was off to a good start. I thought eventually I think it'll be like a really good trade for both teams, but it's just a shame that he went down like that. But yeah, he was a good catching prospect for them. He was actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's a shame. And then, another thing, you mentioned injuries. Well, there's a few, there's some big names that are out right now. You got, right now, you got Garrett Mitchell and Matt Bush of the Brewers, both out. They're both undergoing shoulder surgery. They're both on the they're going to be shut down for 2 to 4 weeks. Houston with some serious injuries. Houston's got Yordan Alvarez, Chas McCormick, Lance McCullers Jr., and Michael Brantley are all out for Houston. McCormick's got lower back tightness. McCullers got a right arm strain, and then so that's some injuries. Tim Anderson and Yohan Moncada, the White Sox, they're both out. So we got some pretty pretty big injuries right now going on in the league.
Yeah, but on a positive note, not for us, for Phillies fans, but Verlander's nearing a return, making a rehab start on Friday. Justin Verlander for the Mets.
Yeah, and speaking of the Mets, and Ken Fry in particular, he has right here Joey Lucchesi for the Mets got his first start. Seven innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 9 Ks, two walks. And for any baseball or Mets fans out there, make sure you check out the Batcave. Ken, you'll have to tell me when you're on next. I know he's on Wednesday mornings at 10. I'm not sure if it's every Wednesday, but anybody out there wants to get some information on the Mets or baseball in general, make sure you check him out. Sean Kilrain, interesting fact, one of the most well-known third baseball facts is that Cap Anderson and Nolan Ryan have both played for 27 seasons. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Nico Spencer, he says, I was watching a Japan game a couple nights ago, and the announcer said in the next 2 to 3 years, MLB will have 5 to 6 more dominant aces from Japan coming over.
I'm sure.
I could see that. Well, here,
let's hope Phillies get one, because we lack in that department.
I was all about to say that. Yes. Remember, the Phillies did try to get one, and he wound up sucking. Remember, it was like 10 years ago. I think the Phillies signed one Japanese guy, or you know what? No, it might not have been a Japanese guy, but it was somebody foreign. And I remembered saying that I was like, damn, what the hell? This dude blows. Yeah. And by the way, Ken Fry will be on tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., the Batcave. So make sure you check him out. And actually, I got one other thing I wanted to touch on here. Since we were talking about the Mets, and I am sure that Ken Fry is going to cover this tomorrow. So, Sean Kilrain, so Taguchi.
Taguchi. No, he wasn't really a prospect, was he?
Not really. Nah, he's not who I was thinking of.
Did we get him from the Cardinals or something?
Something like that. And we also had Chan-Ho Park. Remember, we got Chan-Ho Park. He pitched out of the bullpen for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm sure Ken Fry is going to touch on this, but before we get out of here, we're speaking of the Mets. How about the year that Brandon Nimmo's having?
I know. I said something earlier today to you guys. He could be an MVP candidate. You really think he can be one?
Well, I'm looking at it right now. Now, I apologize. I have no idea. Listen, when I look at baseball stats, I look at ER. I look at, like, for hitting, I look at batting average, home runs, RBIs, on base percentage, that type of shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading this article you sent me. It says, through Sunday's play, Nimmo was tied for the major league lead in FWAR with 1.6. I have no idea what the hell that shit means, but I guess it's good, right? I'm just saying, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. That's the one thing about baseball. Listen, I love baseball, but I'm a real simple guy, man. I'm just going to look for batting average, home runs, RBIs. But apparently, whatever this Ken Fry, Nimmo was straight up on fire. But whatever the hell this
FWAR is calculated by taking the batting runs, base running runs, fielding runs, positional adjustment, league adjustment, and replacement runs divided by the runs per win.
Okay, and that's great. And listen, my I don't know what the hell that shit means. My eyes tell me that Brandon Nimmo's a hell of a player, though. My eyes tell me that. When I watch him play, he looks really good.
He kills the Phillies too, by the way. Every time he plays the Phillies, he kills the Phillies.
Yeah,
he's batting 354 though. So
that's what I'm saying. Right. The guy, I look at that 354. I don't know what a lot of this other bullshit means, but apparently he's playing really well, and he's a good player.
Yeah.
But just to read the article here, he's tied for second in BWAR with 1.7. He's the only player in the top. He's the only player in the top 3 on both lists. So he's obviously having a hell of a year. He's also hitting lefties, which he's never done. Ken Fry says, I just learned what OPS is. Yeah. But like I said, man, Mets are down 4-0. Okay, well, so sorry for you, Ken, but we're being that the Phillies are going to lose. I'm kind of glad the Mets are losing.
Oh crap, dude! The Dodgers took the lead 8-7 over the Pirates.
Damn, dude, I totally jinxed the Pirates, bro. I'm sorry to any Pittsburgh fan out there. Damn. Miko Spencer, are you disappointed in Trey Turner's MLB numbers, offensive standing so far? I thought he'd be higher than his number is now.
I am a little bit. I am a little bit. I mean, especially how he performed in the baseball, the World Baseball. Yeah, I'm a little bit. I mean, he's still bad. He's still good. It's just he hasn't got to a point where we know he can get to.
Yeah, I think by the end of the year, he'll be all right. I mean, the only thing I'm a little disappointed in, he's a little slow to the power. What's he got? 2 home runs or
2
3?
home runs so far, yeah.
Yeah, but I think as the year goes on, I still think he'll hit about 25 to 30.
It'll be interesting to see when Harper comes back. They said he'll come back in a couple weeks, actually, with that lineup with him and everybody in there and see how they perform.
Well, you know what's funny? Do you want to see an unbelievable sports weekend in Philadelphia? So supposedly the rumor is that Harper may possibly be back Friday, May 5th versus the Red Sox. Well, if the Celtics win tonight, which I haven't seen the score, I'm just assuming they're going to beat Atlanta. I'm going to put the score on right now. But if the Celtics win the night, in all likelihood, Game 3 of Sixers Boston in Philadelphia will be May 5th. So can you imagine Phil's Red Sox and Sixers Celtics both right across the street from each other?
Nice. Yeah, it's 76-66. Celtics third quarter.
Yeah, I don't see Atlanta. I mean, if, 76. Miko Spencer says 76-66. So, but just as a sports fan, Boston Philadelphia rivalry, Celtics Sixers, Red Sox. I mean, and I'll tell you, there'll probably be a lot of people from New England coming down. Like that would be a hell.
Yeah.
You would think about it. If you're coming down to see the Red Sox play Citizens Bank, it wouldn't surprise me if some Celtics fans infiltrated the Wells Fargo Center. At time, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although then again, Friday night both games will be going on the same time. I guess Sunday's more likely. If the Sixers game Sunday night, then they could see Phil's Sox Sunday afternoon and then Sixers Celtics Sunday night. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like we were saying. But anyway, getting back to Brandon Nimmo, I mean, guy's a hell of a player. He didn't used to hit lefties. Now he's hitting lefties. He steals bases. Guy can do a lot, and Mets are a good team. So that's that. He will be a threat for us as Phillies fans for a while.
Yeah, he always does damage to us every time.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm looking right here, even in fielding right here. Even in fielding in 2020, he was -4. I guess what's that in WAR? But right now he's +3, so he's doing well there too.
Okay.
So, but anyway, anything else you want to touch on before we get ready to wrap up out of here, Paul?
No, I think I'm good, man.
All right. So anyway, let's do the lineup and another round and let me get to another sponsor here before we close out of here. So, our own Ken Fry. This is near and dear to our own Ken Fry's heart. Original James were formed late summer of 2019, home base out of Cressona, Pennsylvania. It's not your average James. They're looking for donations and sponsors to help cover travel and equipment for the upcoming year. Any donations will be greatly appreciated, or greatly accepted, as well as mentioned on Out of the Box Sports Network as a sponsor. You may reach out to Ken Fry directly or Paul Spencer at Out of the Box Sports to donate. Thank you for your kindness, and the girls and organization greatly thank you in advance. So thank you very much. So, but yeah, Hey, what are we, 1A? So we're 1A through the season, Paul, and a lot of things can change. Um, and so we'll be back. We'll be back next week. I guess hopefully everybody's fantasy teams do well, and whoever you root for, enjoy the games, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
See ya.